Hello and welcome to another episode of Aamchi Legends. At Aamchi Legends antu angal kitliki episodes zalati ani as and when each and every episode comes, we have been getting fantastic response all across through our Facebook or WhatsApp, and thank you so much everyone for this amazing encouraging response. And I chamgal episode antu we have another very special guest joining on this episode of Aamchi Legends. We have Mrs. Meena Chandawarkar joining us from New Jersey. Meena Bachi, well, I think took good evening. I know it's in Hong Kong, good morning.
Bye.
So yeah, good evening. And how has been your stay in the US so far?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I came here for Ganesh Chaturthi. I mean, normally, since last 5 years, we have been celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi at New Jersey.
Okay.
So Ganpati Bappa comes to New Jersey.
Okay,
and
very interesting.
it is my annual feature. I come here every year during Ganesh Chaturthi, and I stay here for about 4 to 6 months with my family, with my son Anand, his wife Meghna, and two beautiful grandchildren, Dhruv and Dhriti.
Fantastic. So it's the Konkan of Konkan for you, right? New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very nice to hear that. Well, Meena Pachi, you're the National Joint Secretary, Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, Nagpur. And of course, also the Chief Advisor, Quality Assurance, BVB Sangha's group of educational institutions in Bagalkot. Makloka, I mean, of course, Aamchi Legends are big welcome. And the first question I have for you, normally, I mean, career and success, Mumbai aska, Bangalore aska, and of course, attantu US aska, UK aska. But your success came when you moved from Mumbai, and more particularly to Bandra. You're a Bandra girl who moved to Bagalkot, and way back in, I'm sure, 1970s. And you got amazing success. I think success, even what you couldn't have imagined or got, probably even in Mumbai, right? So how has that been experienced? The very first time to Bagalkot, you moved to Bagalkot. How was that experience? It must be very different, right?
Actually, to tell you very frankly, I had never heard of Bagalkot when I was in Mumbai. And when I got engaged to Dr. Rajiv Chandawarkar, he was doing his MD at KMC Hubli, and I thought perhaps I would be. We had actually planned to stay at Hubli, but even to come to Hubli from a place like Mumbai, it was a great challenge. And our close friend circle, all my friends told me, "Oh, we will not leave Mumbai at all. How did you agree to go to Hubli?" At that time, I was not knowing about Bagalkot. And then anyway, I thought I'll be definitely happy at Hubli, and I took the decision of shifting to Hubli. I was working with Union Bank of India then. So from Bandra branch of Union Bank of India, I took a transfer to the Hubli branch. And from there, when Rajiv decided to set up he was a pathologist. So when he decided to set up his consulting practice at Bagalkot, where his aunt was a leading gynecologist, Dr. Suman Sirur. At that time, I was a bit hesitant because, first of all, Bagalkot was a new name for me, and it was not even a district then. Now, of course, last 20 years it is a district. But then it was not even a district. It was a part of Bijapur district. And another reason was there was no branch of Union Bank of India in Bagalkot, which meant that I would either have to leave my dream job or I would have to take a transfer to some nearby place. So all these challenges were there. But then anyway, I took a plunge into the ocean of challenges, and we shifted to Bagalkot, and a small place, a very small place called Gudedgud near Bagalkot, which was about 25 kilometers from Bagalkot. I took a transfer to that branch near Bagalkot. And that was actually a big culture shock for me. People talk about a culture shock in America or in Europe or in England, but for me, I got a great culture shock in Bagalkot, because everything was at a snail speed, and we are used to galloping in Mumbai. And here everything was at a very slow speed, and knowledge of Kannada. I didn't know Kannada, so that was another big challenge for me. But anyway, I think whenever you accept a challenge with a positive mind and with a firm will that come what may, I'll overcome it. I think that leads to success. And that was how I became comfortable. Now last 45, 46 years I have been in Bagalkot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So the banking space and the education space and entry kajali. What was that luck by chance out there?
Actually, bank antu I started as a part-time passbook writer with Bank of India. And only Bank of India had that facility of encouraging students to work only for 2 hours and to write only passbooks. That was in way back in 1973. And I wanted to earn, to earn something as pocket money. And I started with a handsome salary of 175 rupees a month. For me, it was really a handsome salary because 175 rupees was a big amount in those days in 1973. So I took up that job, and I must not forget to mention the name of Vasant Mam Heranjal, who was in Bank of India, and it was he who encouraged me and who supported me and who helped me. He guided me to get this job with Bank of India. So when I was a passbook writer, I started dreaming of becoming a probationary officer. And then I passed my CIB exam and I joined Union Bank of India as a probationary officer in 76. So from there, I took a transfer, as I said, to Hubli. I joined just 2 days before my marriage. On 13th December, I joined the Union Bank of India, and 16th December I got married. Because that was a direct recruit quota, and I had to join at that time. So anyway, I took that decision. I joined, and I took a transfer to Hubli and then to Gulidgud. Then I became a branch manager at a very young age because I was a direct recruit. So because of that, they used to transfer me. The policy, as per the bank's policy, there was a transfer every 2 or 3 years, and I was transferred to Belgaum. And with 2 young children, my children were very young, and leaving them traveling to Belgaum was out of question. So my husband said, now you need not work anymore. And he encouraged me to leave the job. So though it was very difficult, I left the job. But as destiny would have it, Vidya Prasarak Mandal started its commerce college at Bagalkot. And I was an MCom, and I had just resigned from the job. So I was offered the job. Initially, for 6 months, I was the principal, but then with no experience in the education field at all. One professor, K.V. Subrao, he joined as the principal after my 6 months of period as a principal. And then he was there for about 5 years, after which again I had to take over as the principal. So for 21 years, I was the principal of Vidya Prasarak Mandals, SR Narsapur Arts and Shirur Commerce College. Then we got the arts section also, and that was a wonderful journey. I think that was the turning point in my life. As you said, people from Bombay would not go to any other place, and that's also a small place like Bagalkot. Bagalkot was, compared to Bombay, it is a small place. But I truly think that whatever I am today, it was because of the environment which and the motivation which Bagalkot gave me, and the people of Bagalkot gave me. And if I was in Bombay, perhaps I would be a drop in the ocean. But in Bagalkot, I was able to spread like the ocean itself. So that was a major turn in my life. From banking to education sector. And without any experience in teaching, I straight away joined as the principal, and then as the vice principal for some time. Finally, I took over as the principal.
And you did some very good groundbreaking work where especially rural students, backgrounds are very different. You adjusted them to education? Because I'm sure in those years, education for girl child itself was a challenge in the first place. And then
Yes.
bringing them to get, to at least come to the classroom and training them and improving enhancing their skill sets. How big was the challenge and how did you manage that? And again, knowing the fact that Kannada was something that you were still grappling with.
So, as you rightly said, most of our students, they have, even today, they have a rural background. And they are very affectionate and they are very obedient, not like unlike the culture which is there in metropolitan cities.
Yeah.
But
we take education and colleges for granted. I think that's what happens,
yes. Yes. But they are, though they are, they lack, they are very, they want to learn, they like to learn quickly, but they lack the confidence.
Yeah.
And they are poor in communicative skills. They know except Kannada, they don't know any other language.
Yeah.
And English is something which is very difficult for them. So they expect even Kannada, English to be taught in Kannada. So that is the status. So if you are teaching English as a subject, you have to start with a Kannada translation, and then slowly, after the students are comfortable with the story or with the gist of that lesson, then you switch over to Kannada. I was teaching a technical subject and accountancy. I started with accountancy, and while teaching accountancy, there are so many words.
Very technical terms, right?
Very technical terms. So for me, it was thinking in English, writing in Marathi, and talking in Kannada. Thinking in English because I have an English background of education, and writing in Devanagari Lipi and talking in Kannada. Wow. So that was a big struggle. And I think for 3 to 4 years, I had to struggle because I had to pick up the knowledge of Kannada, as I found or I realized that students were trying to avoid me. Because they couldn't talk back, they couldn't respond.
Correct.
So because they couldn't respond, they tried to avoid me. And then I felt that unless and until I talk in Kannada, even if there are mistakes, unless and until I correspond with them in Kannada, I communicate with them in Kannada, they will never be they will never come near me. And that was the thing, that was a wise thing I did. And from my children, I started teaching them in Kannada, and I developed the language. And then I found out that the students really came out, and they accepted me as a good teacher for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you became the Vice Chancellor. That journey must have been really awesome, right? From a Union Bank passbook clerical work to a Vice Chancellor. I mean, it's really a different level that we were talking of. How did that come about?
So my journey from the part-time passbook writer till the Vice Chancellor, it has been very interesting. Of course, there have been many struggles, and I sincerely believe that without any struggle, nothing worthwhile can be achieved. There has to be a struggle, and each struggle, it is crowned with some success, of one or the other sort, but it is crowned with success. So whenever there is struggle, you can really do something well. And after spending about 24 years in Narsapur and Sirur College, I was the principal for 21 years, which made the job very monotonous. And I was then looking out for a change. I used to visit an MBA college there on a part-time basis to take HRD subjects. My research was related to HRD. So I used to take classes for organizational behavior and leadership and other aspects of HR. So when I visited that college, I started realizing that I have more job satisfaction in that assignment than my principal's role. And I was looking out for some better opportunity. And as again destiny would have it, Karnataka University had advertised for the post of the director of the academic staff college, the UGC Academic Staff College. Now it is known as the HRDC, Human Resource Development Center. It is a center for training the faculty of colleges and universities. They have orientation programs and refresher courses, and that was exactly what I was dealing with. Yeah, I enjoyed I conducted a number of workshops. I think over 150 workshops I must have conducted on HR aspects like leadership and time management and self-esteem, teamwork, emotional intelligence, and so on. So I thought that job was my it would be suitable for me. And when Karnataka University advertised, I applied for it. I was the only college teacher among 10 university professors, and luckily I was selected. And again, that was another turning point in my life. And I joined the university. So I had to relocate from Bagalkot to Dharwad. And we had our ancestral property at Dharwad, and my parents-in-law also were very eager to stay in Dharwad. They enjoyed staying at Dharwad, and of course me too. So we shifted to Dharwad, and from that university experience, I got a chance to become the Vice Chancellor of the Women's University. Otherwise, for a college teacher to become the Vice Chancellor, it is rather difficult.
Absolutely.
It is difficult. But because of that experience as a professor in Karnataka University, I could get this Vice Chancellor's post in Women's University. That was God's grace. That was God's grace.
Yeah. But what I found interesting is that, you really were able to implement a lot of your learnings from all the experiences from your HR space, which we ideally use it in our corporate life. Right, right from quality circles to management fundas that you probably learned, you were able to implement that in education space. How easy or challenging was that, given that it was a very corporate funda that you were trying to implement in education?
Yeah, so all basically this HRD interventions about which my research was, it focused on the most important aspect, that if you look after your human resources well, they will also contribute well to the productivity of your organization. And in those years, it was the ministry, formally it was the Ministry of Education in 1985, when Dr. P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Minister for Education. It was during his tenure that the name was changed from Ministry of Education to Ministry of Human Resource Development. And now again in 2020, it has been renamed as Ministry of Education. So in the field of education, all these the workshops which I conducted, they helped me to throw light on all the managerial aspects which could be implemented in the college also. And a very important contribution I feel, which was very valuable and which helped to earn the Best College Teacher Award from the Karnataka state government, was about implementation of quality circles and all these management related aspects in the field of education. And there was a unique TQM program which the then Commissioner for Collegiate Education, Mr. Lukos Ollathrai, he had initiated along with Professor Rajshekharan Pillai, who was the director of NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. So this TQM program totally focused on all these aspects of the managerial funda, which you said, all the aspects of working in a team. Working in a team is very, very important in any setup, wherever there are human beings. Teams, it is teams who make impossible, they convert into possible. If 2 + 2 is 4, teams convert 2 + 2 into 22. And through such workshops, I was able to convince our people and convince the teachers, convince the faculty that these concepts could be very successfully and very interestingly implemented in the field of education.
Okay, that's good.
And of course, there were challenges. Initial hiccups were there, and everyone was not willing to accept it, or everyone thought, oh, these are all aspects which may not be implemented, which are not implementable.
Correct.
But then we converted into that impossible into possible. And of course, it was not my contribution alone. It was my entire team in the college and all the faculty members of various colleges. My college was the lead college for 36 colleges in the district. So all the faculty members of this district of Bagalkot district, they all joined hands, and we were able to implement this TQM program very, very successfully.
Very interesting.
So there were challenges, and there were many of the faculty members were not interested, or they just they couldn't believe that it would really be successful. But then slowly they understood what we meant.
Okay.
Yes.
In fact, the Masta Awards outstanding in contribution to education, innovative B School Awards in 2014. Also the Vishweshwaraya Vigyan Puraskar in 2013, and of course the Best Teacher Award from the Karnataka Bangalore University. So, what I wanted to know from you, Pachi, is that national education policy, you have had immense contribution, and what is it that you see with over these, and you in fact complete 50 years in education next year. Wishing you all the very best for that. But from a national education policy perspective, views, you think this is going to be a path-breaking policy?
Surely, the National Education Policy 2020, it is a path-breaking policy which visualizes a revolutionary change in the education policy of our nation. Most importantly, it adopts a holistic approach. It focuses on a holistic approach rooted in Bharatiya ethos, and with the intention of instilling pride in the students for the nation, and at the same time integrating with global standards of education, by which the competency levels of our students will definitely be increased. So combining the Bharatiya perspective with the international standards through a variety of suggestions which have been made, and now which has been accepted by the government of India and by most of the states in India. The NEP 2020 will definitely, it has paved way, I feel, to make Bharat the Vishwa Guru. See, we have seen June 21st, it is being observed as the International Yoga Divas.
Correct.
Across 175 countries, irrespective of their belief or their thoughts or their religion or their ethos, whatever it is, irrespective of that, June 21st is internationally recognized as the International Yoga Day. So Bharat is already on the way of becoming the Vishwa Guru. And this NEP 2020, along with another important, very important announcement made in May 2020, was that of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So NEP 2020 and Atmanirbhar Bharat, they will definitely, they will project and they will convince the entire globe that India is the Vishwa Guru. And from that point of view, I feel the NEP 2020 in its holistic approach, as I said, it adopts, it focuses on liberal education, on the multidisciplinary approach, because of which any student studying in commerce, he can take a science subject. For example, he can choose a program in agriculture or in organic farming, or an art student can take up entrepreneurship course as an elective option. Similarly, a science student can take an engineering program, or an engineering college student can take a language or a music or a dance program from an arts college. So 40% of the credits, UGC has already announced that 40% of the credits can be taken from outside institutions. If your institution, the one which you have registered, with, if it does not have that subject, you can opt for another institution offering that subject, and that credit will be added as your credit. So that is a very important aspect, the liberal approach. Along with it is the multi-entry and multi-exit option. After 2 years, say a student is not, for any reason, especially if it is a girl, if it's a woman, it may be a family reason or motherhood or her marriage or looking after the parents or parents-in-law. For any such reason, if she is not able to continue, she can take a break. So she can exit, but the credits earned in the 2 years, they will not be wasted. They will be collected in the academic bank of credit.
Wow. Okay.
For us, the bank means money.
Yeah.
But here, this academic bank of credit, it is credit of the credits earned by the student in the 2 years. So they don't go waste. Otherwise, what used to happen was, students who used to discontinue, they used to lose, they had to lose the credits which they have already learned and they have already earned, and then they had to again register. So this is a very important aspect. Knowledge and studying in the mother tongue, that is also in 18 languages. Studying in the mother tongue in 18 languages, the course can be studied even for higher education. In Karnataka became the first state for implementing the national education policy, and the Vishweshwaraya Technology University, the VTU, which offers technical programs. It has already started translation of engineering books in Kannada. So for students of the rural background, which you are asking, the rural students, for such students, if the program is offered in their language, in their mother tongue, definitely the grasping power, the learning takeaways will be much more. So that is another advantage. And I must not forget to say about the Lokavidya. The Lokavidya, the handicraft sector in which 55% are women working in this sector. So to promote or to encourage the handicrafts or the art which they excel in, it may be Varli painting, or it could be Dharwad Kasuti, or it could be the lace embroidery, lace manufacturing of Andhra, or the Jaipur pottery, Jaipur blue pottery, Bidri work of Karnataka, or the Solapuri chadars or the Kolhapuri chappals. All these crafts and handicrafts, the Gujarati Kachi work, and even the West Bengal Katha work, all such handicrafts, they will be encouraged, and their basic problems regarding finance or marketing, they all will, there will be ways and means which will be found out for solving their problems. So that is a major breakthrough of in the NEP policy. Of course, the National Research Foundation, which has been set up under the NEP, it will basically focus on promoting research, for which already last year in the budget, sum of 50,000 crores, 10,000 every year for 5 years has already been announced. So all these aspects, keeping the international standards in view, definitely would increase the competency levels and will definitely make a revolutionary change in the education policy of our nation.
Okay,
so
that's good to know.
But it's very important that it is the teacher, the faculty, the teacher from KG to PG. It is the teacher who will make a difference. If the teacher doesn't mind, the policy will just be in black and white in the file. But the teacher has to really put in sincere efforts. And at Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, we have conducted with Niti Aayog, we have conducted over 650 webinars across the world, across the nation, to for implementing NEP 2020. And now the Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal is also working out on a module under the NIPS scheme, National Implementation Policy Scheme of the NEP 2020, under which an ideal module is being formed. The first session was already conducted at AICTE in New Delhi, and it will be followed by a number of sessions by which we will take up the work of helping higher education institutions and schools and colleges to implement the NEP without waiting for any assistance or any help from the government.
So to mention, Kel, in your interview that India can be a Vishwa Guru, and in fact a lot of Indian students abroad and elsewhere basically are being coached or taught, especially with this online platform, which I think India is really spearheading into the education space. I'm sure. What I wanted to know your view was about the current generation. With so much of screen time, and of course the challenges that came with COVID, there was so much of no face-to-face schooling, especially in India. I can imagine the challenges there, right? Where first of all, in the rural community or weaker sections, it was a challenge to even bring the child to a school. But thankfully, with COVID, at least the school went to the child in a digital way. My first question is, how has that, do you think, really helped in India, digital platform, one? And the second thing is, Atan challenges with children with so much time being spent on mobile phones and on laptops. This generation is of a different level. What is your key message for your parents, for the parents of these kids for watching you?
Yeah. Actually, during the pandemic, I agree fully with you that students were really the sufferers, especially young children, school-going young children, and especially those in the rural areas where connectivity was not very easily available. It was a big challenge, but I think India did really very well. It came out of the challenge, and even the efforts by the government to improve the connectivity, internet connectivity in the remotest place were really appreciable, and it helped the students. Of course, teaching in the classroom is it cannot be substituted by any virtual platform, but it was something which the entire globe was facing, the pandemic. So it was something, I think in our generation, we will never see such a situation again. God forbid. We should not see such a situation.
Correct.
So, but the way our nation handled this problem, it is really appreciable. Of course, the problems of students with engaged with gadgets, with mobiles, with laptops, and I feel two important things are necessary for the students. One is they should have patience, and secondly, they should have perseverance. These two aspects, patience, because this is the era of technology, and everything is galloping at a speed and at an impact which is unimaginable. Every decade sees 40 to 50 jobs, they become obsolete, they become outdated, but new jobs requiring new skills are the need of the hour. And hence every student has to remember that learning to learn, unlearn, and relearn, these are very important for the student to prosper. Let each student remember that it is not necessary to be extraordinarily intelligent or to be an expert in everything. After all, we are all human beings. Everyone has his or her own competency, own potential. In fact, the human mind, it's an inexhaustible reservoir of creative potential. And in these days, there is no limit to the sky is the limit. There is no limit to the topics which could be chosen. In my days, it was arts or science. Even commerce was not very popular. but now the sky is the limit. So they can take up any subject according to their choice, but patience is required. Someone humorously told me that students of today's generation, they want to invest today and they want to reap the benefit not tomorrow but yesterday. They want to reap yesterday, and that sort of success will never be it will also be cut short. Then if there is a shortcut to success, it will be cut short. So that is one thing. Patience is very important. Secondly, perseverance. To achieve anything, nothing can be achieved overnight or without any struggle, without any efforts. So perseverance and patience, they are very two important aspects in which prayer, which is the antivirus of the 21st century, a prayer, some spiritual background, along with a positive attitude, positivity in life. These two help the student to tackle with patience and perseverance. From the parents' point of view, I feel we have to trust our child and give him a lot of love, give him or her a lot of love and affection. Trust them and let them do whatever they like. Never ever expect anything. Accept everything. Instead of expecting, you accept whatever they do, because they will do according to their potential. And they will do amazing things which you will never imagine. But don't try to compare them. Don't try to thrust your views upon them. Just let them blossom out on their own, and you will see that ordinary is converted into extraordinary.
Absolutely. On that very, very positive note, thank you so much, Dr. Meena Chandawarkar, for joining us on this episode of Aamchi Legends. It's been truly fantastic.
Now, I must thank you for this unique initiative which you have taken. And this is the least we could do to encourage our students, today's generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And well, with that, we come to the end of this episode of the Aamchi Legends. Big thanks to Samiir Halady, who has put in this amazing effort in the back end, bringing this on the screen. It takes its own hard work and effort. So thanks, Samiir, for this. And well, of course, if you'd like to suggest names for our Aamchi Legends in our forthcoming episodes, please write in and suggest to us names on the email ID that you see on the screen. For this moment, at this point in time, wishing you all a very happy festive season ahead. From me, Santosh Sirur, and of course, Dr. Mrs. Meena Chandawarkar. Thank you once again for joining on the Aamchi Legends.
Thank you.
Samajal recording, kale problem na, no worries. Samajal hai.
Samajal ne hai. Kale